If they want this to be the default, they're going to need to completely rethink how lighting works in regards to monster spawning, because as obviously was shown when he set the game to night, it still looked bright and as if monsters shouldn't be able to spawn, yet they were. This is one of the many pieces of feedback we've seen on vibrant visuals becoming the default, and honestly, in response to this, I think you're right, LTIP. I think the idea of light meaning light is something that will need a rework in Minecraft, but will that come with dynamic light? Will you still be able to use the old graphics if you don't like it? And what else has happened in Minecraft this week? Well, hello, I'm AbbyXToyCat. This is Q&A Saturday, where I attempt to answer precisely that. And let's start with the really easy question from DagHad13, who says they really hope that when it says default, it means they'll still be able to use old versions of graphics because they don't like vibrant visuals or any texture packs in general. And I totally feel this. I have liked vanilla Minecraft forever, and so if you're like me, I would probably recommend giving this a shot. But if you don't want to even do that, the moment this update comes out, we're expecting 12190 or 12100, when in one of the next two updates, when you hear that Vibrant Visuals is around, you can immediately go to your video settings, and in the same way that some players haven't seen clouds for years, despite them being added as the default many years ago, you could choose to never see Vibrant Visuals by setting your graphics to simple or fancy. Similarly though, you might question, how is Vibrant Visuals going to work with resource packs? And I decided to find out the answer to that. Okay, well, that's a current beta issue, I'm sure. A lot of vibrant visual worlds just do not load up, but hopefully they fix that soon. This is a work in progress after all. Moving on to things that are less broken, here is a screenshot I posted from Wednesday's video over on Twitter, and as you can see, it is a bee, but when the bee is reflected in the water, it is perfectly pixelated. It looks so high quality, yet so Minecrafty. I love these details is what I said, and 988 people retweeted it as well, kind of proving the same is true, but I wanted to come into this response from Archer Legend, saying that hopefully they'll also implement dynamic lighting. Indeed, this is also what Des Fox says, that it's the sort of thing that they want if there's going to be a lighting update anyway, and here's the fun thing about that. Even though dynamic lighting is the single most requested change for Minecraft, it is on the big list of things they say they are never going to do, alongside guns, and if you've never heard of the previously considered suggestions, this is a part of the Minecraft feedback website, which they set up in response to how many ideas they were getting on Reddit and elsewhere, and one of the problems is that when people post their ideas there, if Mojang were to use your idea, then some people could theoretically sue them and say, you know what, it was my idea, why aren't you financially compensating me? And so they set up the feedback website as a place where you can only post if you promise these ideas are fine for Mojang to use, and so to encourage people to post there, they would go through every month with the dev team and actually review all of these ideas. They stopped doing that in May of 2020, who's to say what happened around then, but you can see that on here there are all sorts of interesting ideas like the Redwood Forest isn't coming to the game because it's too similar to the Mega Taiga, or indeed the idea of having torches lose brightness when exposed to rain. These are not coming, and so neither is the idea of a torch/light in your hand, as it's been evaluated for its impact on gameplay and rejected. Now, admittedly, it's possible that after 6 years, maybe they change their minds on these sorts of things, but this is the exact same reason why, even though you might see a great idea around the miner hat, and it's the exact same thing, they've explicitly rejected this one too. The miner hat is too modern, which seems really weird if you ask me, but this is basically a combination of both of those ideas together, and so will we be seeing miner hats or will we see dynamic lighting? The answer won't shock you that it's probably no. I think most revolutionary changes to Minecraft you could probably answer with it won't happen anytime too soon, but in particular with this, we do have to consider, going back to Eldib's question, that Minecraft does need to rework the light system in the game, because soon it will be that the default way the game looks has no bearing on how light actually behaves. I mean, the way that light works in the Nether and underground and in the overworld shouldn't be hugely different because the moon doesn't put out any light, but yet it actually does with vibrant visuals. And there's a lot of questions about that, but I'll answer those questions with this question, because as much as I think the the miner helmet was a cool crafting recipe, I think the coolest crafting recipe was the buck chuckets, and I want to share with you this very real Minecraft wiki page where they share the recipe that they used in the movie. Absolutely ridiculous, right? But even more fun is the fact that the Minecraft wiki has a page for car, and just in case you couldn't think that got more ridiculous, they actually worked out all of the precise cars used in the Minecraft movie, which very heavily implies that the movie is set somewhere in the past, right? Maybe somewhere around the early 2000s. I don't know, there's just a little fun thing I realized there. Speaking of fun things I realized, they need to fix the lag on realms is what Golden Caesar says, but did you know over the last few weeks they've been intending to do precisely that? So this is Corner Hard, the lead developer for realms, and he's actually showed that on the Bedrock version of the game, you can actually set a server region preference, which means instead of having the server be set automatically to whoever joins the session first, you could say assume that half of your players are in, I don't know, New York, and half of your players are in Washington, USA, and you could instead set the server to be halfway between both of those points. I actually couldn't resist jumping into the preview to see what this looked like for me, and what's interesting is you can see it's actually localized to where the realm owner is looking at it. And so my closest server is Southern England. That checks out. I live in London, which is definitively the south of England, but then you can see the Netherlands is my next closest, then Ireland, then France, then Sweden, and so that means that you can see where all of the realm servers in the world are, and if you want to, you could deliberately choose to connect to the one which is furthest away. The game recommends against doing that, but fun fact, you can choose to do that should you want to. I'm going to go back to automatic though, and I'm also going to remind you that this actually just came to the Java snapshot, and so when 1.21.6 comes out, you'll be able to play around with it there. This is a great upgrade to Realms, which is coming alongside all of the vibrant changes in the near to come future. Indeed, the summer drop. And speaking of the summer drop, I think I've seen so many fun things about this, but I just want to share with you, this is my favorite use of the brand new mechanics with the leash. It's actually called the morally questionable gondola lift, and although sadly this doesn't seem to work as well on Bedrock anymore, I hope that they keep some version of this fully working in Minecraft, because I just think there's so much potential for what you can do with leads if they allow this. Indeed, I'm starting to think that looking at the summer drop, there's basically two main features which allow for so much customization that people might not care about everything else. Maybe it is that the new graphics are the biggest selling part of, a brand new update for most people, and so maybe the summer drop is going to literally have two things and that's it. I have some concerns of that, of course, but I'm also hugely fascinated. By the way, speaking of things that we see on Reddit, here's a couple of things from the IBX Toycat subreddit this week. One of these was this little throwback to the past, which is the old background screen that Minecraft temporarily used. I think it was to celebrate Halloween. It was a weird temporary one. And this one, which I just wanted to share with you, it's an image from my most recent super flatcore hardcore stream. And as you can see, it's someone saying, I agree, me too. And then someone saying, whoa, a bit of a controversial take. Whoa, this is not a political stream. And I enjoyed that so much. Speaking of things I enjoyed so much, hey Toycat, I know this is random, but I've been trying to find a video of yours from way back when you built a red sandstone temple. Would you happen to know the one? So I was expecting this to be really simple. I would find the video, I would link it to the comment, and I wouldn't need to focus on it for a Q&A Saturday, but what's interesting about it is I couldn't find the video either. I've made a lot of videos customizing structures over the years. Last year's one is one you might recognize. I made 30 new structures, and the one that went the biggest was Mojang won't improve structures, so I did in 2022. But yeah, I've made a bunch of videos about structures over the years, but I couldn't find the particular one that you were talking about, even though I remember so vividly doing it in the tutorial world, and as it turns out, it's called Minecraft 6 New Temples We Need, because it was actually making 6 different temples, and yes, my red sandstone temple really did look like this. I have no idea what I was thinking, but I had to build that by hand because it was the Xbox One edition of the game. But even more interesting is, yeah, I did something similar with village types that I felt could be added to the game, because Minecraft was slowly having these like copy-paste variants of old villages, so I figured why not have a Nether village and so on and so forth. People really enjoyed both of these videos, and I think that's kind of fun that like the creative idea of playing around with structures is something people really do enjoy, and again, as soon as Mojang adds the ability to allow you to do that with an add-on, I would love to play around with that and release something with it, but for now, no such ability does exist. There are some structure add-ons, but they don't truly work as structures, they work as features, and we could explain more of that some other time, but for now, let me just say that Don't Use Web says, appreciate the timestamps in the description. Thank you very much for appreciating the timestamps. They do take some extra time to put in there, but I think for some videos, especially the ones we do now, sometimes, as like, video essays and stuff, there are lots of chapters of a video which are more or less independent videos that follow the same points and the same thing. So if you feel like you know really well one segment of the video, having chapters can be a great way to skip it. Obviously, I am making a small section sacrifice, not just in the time to put it in there, but also for watch time. And so I think in general, it's better for long videos that you probably will watch in multiple sessions anyway, but still, for some shorter videos, if I think it makes sense, we'll throw the timestamps in there and hope that it makes sense later. Speaking of hoping something makes sense later, David Solomano responded to my video this Monday. My Let's Play went crazy all over the place, by the way. I got so many comments from people being like, oh yeah, don't start a Forever World. I knew it. I never wanted a Forever World anyway. And it's like, how many people just read titles and thumbnails and don't even consider the video or who produced it? But anyway, the interesting thing is that David has the suggestion here that the main reason not to start a long-term survival world is eventually your builds will get listed and then you'll never be able to change anything. All repairs have to be made with 1.16 error blocks, etc. If you're not familiar, this is basically making fun of the UK's Town and Country Planning Act. Getting lots of things approved in the UK is a real nightmare, but actually, I think this is an awesome idea. I think that having like specifically approved conservation areas in your Minecraft world, I think that that is a really cool way to, as NDEYTL says, add lore to your world. And so I feel like that's actually the best idea I could have, because wouldn't it be not just an act of vandalism to myself, but to anyone who enjoys the Let's Play world if I say destroyed the iconic brick house? And so should I not place it under listed status? I think this is a great idea, and this has inspired something inside of me. But speaking of inspiring things inside of me, I am very sick. I don't know if you could spot from my voice through this video, but I have been trying for a few days to put this together. It's just about work now, but I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sorry if it was shorter than usual. I'm hopefully going to recover soon because, man, it sucks. I want to remind anyone, like, this happens to me once every couple of years, but I get sick and I'm like, oh God, it'd be so good to be better again. And so just remember, if things aren't good today, at least you are going through them in relatively good health, and it could be worse. And I guess I should remind myself if I'm feeling bad about being sick, you know what? I could have a terminal disease and I could never be getting better, whereas I'm fairly sure that in like 2 or 3 days, I'll be fine. I'll be back to streaming like normal, and I'm looking forward to that, I guess. But for now, thank you. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.